Hey Jill, what's on your mind today?
Hey Diane, I want to talk about retirement and savings. So funny enough, I'm about 6 years away from retirement, and my whole career I have been in, for the most part, a corporate role, with the exception of the last 13 years. And like many people who work for a company, there was a company pension, RRSP. It went into my, bank account or my bank RRSP. So my bank was managing that for me. And I was getting quite concerned because I'm running out of runway, literally,
I feel that. Yeah.
to save. Now I'm not in bad shape, especially when you look at it as a combined savings for my husband and I, but I wasn't really confident or nor happy with what my bank was doing. And I won't mention my bank, but they're one of the big three. And the I was lucky enough to be assigned a wealth advisor. So they're basically a bank employee who
Right.
meets with you once a month and shows you where your RRSP contributions are going and what your performance is year over year, and then pats you on the head and sends you on your way. So I was not happy with the performance, and I also wasn't happy with my own sort of lack of education. Not to say that I'm not savvy about savings, RRSPs, TFSAs. I have, but I wanted to look into getting an actual wealth advisor that did not work for a bank. And so the
Right.
research that I did, and I might get some backlash from people who are in banking, but based on the research, I was told that there are different levels of experience, knowledge, and accountability when it comes to retirement and retirement planning, estate planning. And, banks are kind of like here.
Oh,
And then you get into other professionals who work for wealth advising
firms.
organizations, firms, yes. And then there's different types of advisors. And so I decided to do some more research, and I actually ended up meeting with a wealth advisor, and I had multiple conversations. And interestingly enough, he seemed like he was quite knowledgeable. I did get, when I was doing my research, I got a red flag about this particular advisor. Apparently, there was a censure against him because he had done a trade on behalf of the client without getting written approval. So that's a no-no. So that was sort of red flag number one. I had him sort of explain to me what happened, and what he told me was that it was just a matter of timing, that previously he had had approval from this particular client, but that it just wasn't that day. It had been previous, and he wasn't able to get a hold of this client because they were a snowbird and they were going down to Florida. So this is the rationale. He says he'd had previous approval to proceed, but it was against the rules and he was basically censured.
Oh,
So that was sort of flag number one. So I said, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I would like to get references from you on, others who you manage from a wealth perspective, estate planning, tax planning, and as well, because of my business and I'm self-employed, I want somebody who understands sort of exit strategy, because at some point I'm going to have to actually sell my business or shut it down, right?
right.
So the he connected me with one reference, which was a friend from 20 years. And when I asked, sort of the what was covered, he didn't do all of the things for this individual that I would be getting him to do. So I wanted somebody who'd actually had the full breadth of wealth
Right.
management, estate planning, tax planning, etc. And I had to keep reminding him multiple times. His excuse was that he was busy, and I kept pushing him to give me a second reference that I could speak to, but he couldn't actually come back with another reference, which, of course, was the end of the
I was
conversation.
gonna say red flag number 2 and goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah. So I was again sort of, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. He said he was busy. He said he would get back to me. A month goes by from the first request to my finally deciding to move along. So the long story short is I think it's important that women, or anyone who is approaching retirement, really pauses and takes a moment to look at their retirement savings and to really take a proactive stance in finding an advisor who will work for you. And I'm now back at square one.
So you're
Now,
interviewing wealth management companies?
yes. So I need to find a wealth advisor, wealth
Hmm.
management, um, to help me because I like again, I only have about 6 years. So I know that when we did the poll in the Facebook group, that this was a concern by a lot of our members about retirement and savings. So that's what's up. So let me
Yeah.
ask you, what are you doing for retirement savings and planning?
Well, you know, buying lottery tickets.
Peter says to me today, let's hope Princess Margaret tells us we've won that
Yes.
lottery tomorrow because
Oh, yes.
it's a nice Muskoka cottage. That would be great.
Wouldn't it? No, we've been just I don't know. My house is a big chunk of my retirement plan because I will downsize obviously and move to something hopefully, a bungalow with no stairs and waterfront would be delightful, but we'll see how
Yeah.
that goes. But yeah, no, we haven't really we should contact somebody as well and figure out things because I've been thinking about the whole will and estate and all of those things. And not that we have wealth to pass down, but it bothers me to think about if something untoward were to happen and we didn't have things in writing or in place that, I would hate for my kids to have to do probate and all of that nonsense that goes
Yeah.
along with it and
Yep.
goes on forever and ever. And I don't know how people that don't have money to begin with make it through that whole process. Like, if you're a woman who's been married to the same man for however many years and didn't have your own income and he passes away, how do you live off of the money that you're bringing in while you go through probate that costs what,
Yeah.
8 grand to start,
Yeah.
basically? It's
Yeah.
just such a terrible system. And I would literally roll over in my grave if I found out that the government got more of my money than what they should.
Yeah. So I hate to tell you, but even those who are prepared
Mhm.
can be on their passing, having their estate dragged through probate. So my dad was the most organized, had a will, had power of attorney, had everything organized, and had everything set up so that any of his estate, was clearly identified as to how it was going to be handled and addressed. And it was pretty
Right,
simple. Like it was such a simple thing, the way that he did it. He basically said, I have 3 kids, you all get a third. That's it.
right. Perfect.
And he assigned my sister as the executor. And I think that one of the things that my dad tried to do that I will regret always is have a conversation with his kids about what his wishes were. And me,
Mm,
I kind of, again, regretfully dismissed it because I couldn't face the fact that he was talking about his death. And so for me, it was like,
right.
no, you're going to live a long time. Don't worry about it. Don't talk to me.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I regret that. I really wish that I had spent more time being realistic and talking to him about it. And when he passed on, I hadn't a will, neither Peter nor I had a will at the time, so it was sort of that catalyst for me to go out and get power of attorney and get a will.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that I did that, but I can guarantee there are many who have not done that.
Mhm. I know, I know. And I think honestly, my parents have been great about shelling us for the last because my parents' all died very young, right? Like my parents have outlived both of their parents on maternal and paternal sides for many, many years. So
Yeah.
I think they didn't expect to be here this long. And they've told us basically what they want. And, this is the thing. So I'm power of attorney when it comes to health. Brenda's power of attorney when it comes to money. And that works out brilliantly because that's her wheelhouse and that's my wheelhouse. And
Mm.
my mom, funny as she is, and my mom is quite funny, mentioned to me one time that she did it that way because she said, "Oh God, Diane, your sister would never unplug me. She would have me on that damn ventilator for years."
Yep.
Yeah, and she's right. So that was smart of her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I those are things that I do feel like everybody should have in place, whether you're, running out of runway or not.
Or
It should
not.
be
I think it's
something,
just
yeah, for
it's
sure.
just yeah, I think it's just think about it's not you who will suffer, it will be your
Exactly.
children.
It's your kids. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't feel prepared. I do feel like I've at least taken the important step to get a will in place and, to write down things that my kids need to know because it doesn't have to be old age. It could just be a car, right? A car crash. It could
Right.
be anything, right?
Yeah.
I do think that it would be helpful to have, I think we do have members within the community who are in wealth management, wealth
Hmm.
advisors. So it'd be great to have somebody come on the show. And I do think there's a couple of things or maybe more that we could actually explore. One would be the wealth advisor and talking about how do you actually plan, your estate? How do you invest your money sufficiently so that not necessarily for your death, but more so if you retire at 65, I don't know about you, but I plan on living to at least 100 and I need money.
Yeah. Me too. I got trips to take, man. Especially when I'm
Absolutely.
retired. That's when the long trips come into play. The ones that you can't
Yes.
do while you're still working.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
So I think having somebody come in to talk about planning for retirement, estate planning, but I also think it's important to bring in maybe somebody to talk about a will because that isn't something a wealth advisor does. It's
True.
about how do you plan
True.
for, what's the difference between a power of attorney? What's the difference between a will? And how do you effectively create that plan? Because it isn't just about leaving a will. It's like, where do you put your will? Where
Right.
are all your passwords?
Right.
What is your password for your bank account? What is your password for who pays your bill while it's
Right.
going through probate if that actually happens. So I think it'd be
Yeah.
great to have because this is a topic that the community is interested in, maybe bring in an attorney, somebody who could talk
Mm.
about sort of that process, but
Yep.
also a wealth advisor. I think that's so there was a
Yeah, I think
direct,
that's smart.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I do.
direct
I think that's
request and
smart.
feedback from the community. So
Yeah, for sure.
good. So this will be a to be continued conversation, and I'm still
Okay.
on the hunt.
All right.
And actually, I will tell you that I did come across some really good resources. Have you heard of the Wealthy Barber?
Um, the guy that was on Dragon's Den?
Yes, that's exactly him. So he has a
Okay.
YouTube channel literally called The Wealthy Barber, and he
Right.
has a YouTube series. It's a four-part series talking about how to select a wealth advisor.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. So I will include that in the description. A link will be in the description as well. And there's some really great resources out there as well. So to be continued, we'll bring on some additional resources to talk about those two distinct and important topics.
Okay, great.
All right. All right. Until next time, gigglers.
Keep on giggling.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Giggles and Shit Show. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe on Substack at gigglesnshit.substack.com so you'll never miss an episode. You'll get all our content, podcasts, videos, and newsletter delivered right to your inbox. Join our chat to post your very own shit or hit list. We want to hear about the shit that's driving you crazy or making your week a hit. Come laugh, cry, and keep it real with us and our Gen X community.